All right, it's time now to take a look at what the weekly magazines have been saying around the world. And to help us do that, we have Florence Villeneuve with us here on the set. Hi, Flo. Lots of focus this week on Russian President Vladimir Putin, especially given the crisis in eastern Ukraine.
That's right. After annexing Crimea, he's once again putting pressure on Ukraine. And let's take a look at Courrier International, which focuses on the fascination that Western media has on the Russian president. And you can see him here on the front page, looking a lot like the Godfather. In his lapel there, he has a rose that says Crimea on it. And you can see here as well, there's some puppet strings, like he's really the one calling the shots here. Le Monde selon Poutine, the world according to Putin, on the front page of Courrier International, which says that he's really following his own rules. And inside it says that critics say that he's on an imperial mission, taking advantage of Washington's powerlessness and what Der Spiegel calls Germany's strange indulgence. And Courrier International actually quotes the German magazine and points out that many Germans are very tolerant, actually, of Russia's expansionist policies, mainly for economic reasons, but also for historic reasons. And Der Spiegel says that Germany still has very strong ties to its former occupier, and it likens this to some sort of a Stockholm syndrome.
Well, Vladimir Putin's strategy is very worrying for many people in the West, and many people are wondering just how far his ambition goes.
That's right. Let's take a look at the front page of The Economist this week that talks about insatiable. And on the front page, you can see that after gobbling up Crimea, the Russian bear is trying to take another bite out of Ukraine. Now, inside, The Economist says that the cost of stopping the Russian bear is high, but it will only get higher if the West does nothing. And the magazine calls for a reinforcement of NATO troops in Central and Eastern Europe, as well as widening visa restrictions for Russian oligarchs and their families. And on top of that, The Economist calls on the West to impose sanctions on Russia similar to those on Iran. Now, will that be enough? That's another thing that magazines are taking a closer look at this week. A new weekly here in France called Le Un says that Putin's logic, it often seems to escape reality for a lot of people in the West. It's very foreign to us. Who knows what he will do? And you can see here on the front page, it calls Putin the man we love to hate. Now, La Revue, another magazine, takes an in-depth look at Vladimir Putin, a profile of him, promises to reveal the real Putin, says he's much more complex than the caricature a lot of the Western media can make him out to be. And to quote the article, it says that he is truly nostalgic of the Soviet Union. This faithfully reflects the state of mind and the aspiration of most Russians, according to the magazine.
Well, here in France, the man of the moment seems to be the Prime Minister, Manuel Valls, who's on the front page of the magazine L'Express.
That's right. This week he presented an in-depth look, a detailed vision of the government's 50 billion euro budget-saving plan in the next 3 years. This has drawn criticism from the left and the right. So you can see here L'Express says that Valls, well, he's on a volcano, and L'Express actually lists a couple of the difficulties that lie ahead for the prime minister. He has his work cut out for him, according to L'Express. He has to deal with the president, François Hollande, get through administrative blockages, and deal with the, quote, ball and chain that is the left. So that's L'Express's view this week.
And Flo, just to wrap up, you have a quick look at some other magazines that deal with very different topics. Alzheimer's disease, New York City, and a famous French TV presenter.
That's right. Let's start with Nouvelle Obs. It focuses on Alzheimer's disease this week, describes the ordeal that it is for the families of those affected in the absence of any effective treatment. They're really hopeful that one day there will be a cure that's found. And on the front page, you can see a photo of a famous French actress, Annie Girardot, who passed away in 2011 after struggling with the disease. Moving on to something completely different, Le Point takes us stateside to New York City, exploring the city's latest extravagance and excitement. Now, this is known as a marronnier in France. A marronnier is a topic, a story that comes up time and time again in the French media. Often it's taxes, real estate, or Freemasons, but here it's New York, so it's pretty exciting. And finally, you might have never heard of her, but her name is Alessandra Sublet. She's on the front page of Paris Match, who calls her the coolest TV presenter, and she is pregnant. She's going to have a son soon, so, well, congratulations. Best of luck for her.
I know Alessandra, and she is cool, but she's not as cool as you, Flo. All right, thanks so much, and thanks to you for watching France 24. Have a wonderful weekend.